Hey everyone, it's Jamie Broderick, and this is Network Now's monthly masterclass taught by an Elite Connections program member. Our featured guest star of the day is Laura Templeton of 30 Second Success. She is, I call her, a networking coach. She teaches people how to explain what they do. She helps them create their pitch and present their pitch live and on video. And I'm going to let her take it away. She has about 20 minutes of content, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. All right?
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that introduction. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just got to find it here. So this is...
Perfect.
Okay. We'll go from there we go. All right, so welcome everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success. I help people develop their 30-second pitch. That's pretty much the foundation of my business. My story really begins with networking, as Jamie explained, that I've been in networking for a really, really long time. Probably about 18 years I've been using network as a means to connect with people, build my business, and really build relationships along the way. And what I found after I stepped into a leadership role with one of the organizations that I've been a part of for a really long time, I started looking at my members in a different way and just really looking at how I could help them. Jamie is the queen of helping people, and I absolutely love that about her. And I've learned a tremendous amount even just from her over these years. But one of the things that I found when you step into a leadership role is that you start trying to figure out ways that you can help your members. And I started noticing a pattern that people were really struggling in the area of being able to do their 30-second commercials and really be comfortable with that and confident. There were a number of people who just really struggled with being able to give their 30-second commercial effectively, and it really seemed to detract from who they were, especially once I had gotten to know them, really understood who they are. A lot of times I'd be giving their 30-second pitch and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so not what she does. It was like, it would hurt my heart. So I started offering my services, and then word got out that I was helping people with their 30-second commercials. And I started getting requests to come and speak to groups about doing your 30-second commercial and what that entails. So over the course of being part of direct sales for a really long time, I had been able to connect with some really great coaches who taught me there's a basic formula to your 30-second commercial that I'm going to share with you guys. But the formula really is the foundation of your 30-second pitch and really helps to put it in a simple way that connects with people and helps them understand what you do and how you can serve them best. So sharing that with you, I just want you to understand a little bit on a deeper scale of what the purpose of your 30-second commercial is. So sorry, that popped up. I meant to go to the next screen. So what we're going to talk about today are just some takeaways. The importance of your 30-second commercial, crafting an attention-getting message, and what to do when you have their attention. These are some of the areas that we'll be talking about, especially in the area of the importance of your 30-second commercial. So we're going to start with that. The importance of your 30-second commercial, a lot of people think that your 30-second commercial is really a way to tell people, educate them on everything that you do. And really, in all reality, it's the purpose of your 30-second commercial is not to educate them on everything that you do, but to give them just enough to want to know more, to pique their interest, to get them to say, how do you do that? Because once you've got their attention, then it leads to a conversation, an opportunity to share more, to learn more about them, to find out how you can help them in their business, or maybe even help somebody that they know. But sometimes you have to give them enough to open that door. Because let's face it, if we stand up and we give people our 30-second pitch and tell them everything that we do in 30 seconds or less, A, either we're going to have to talk really, really fast, or B, we're going to overwhelm them. And we're going to give them so much information that they're going to go, oh, I know what she does. I don't need to have a conversation with her. They're going to walk away and probably not call you. This typically happens more often than you'd think. You know, there are some people that just, try and make sure that they put everything into their 30-second message. And it comes off as it is overwhelming, or people are like, okay, I know everything that she does. I don't need to know more, or I'll call her when I need her. And then you become forgettable. So the idea behind your 30-second pitch is to become memorable, get people to recognize who you are, to want to know more about how you can help them. I have a really great friend who's an author, and you know, just helping you understand that 30-second pitch is so crucial, not just to your business, but to other areas of your life, things that you do. A friend who's an author wrote a book, happened to be in an elevator, I kid you not, in an elevator with an editor, a book editor, and he asked her what her new book was about. And she said, I literally proceeded to throw up on this man. Not physically, verbally. She said, I realized that, and she said, I just could not stop myself from talking. And I literally saw this glazed look come over his eyes, and I knew I had lost him. She said, because I did not know. She said, I knew what my book was about. I was passionate about my book. I wanted to be able to tell everybody about it, but I was not able to communicate that effectively with a clear, concise message in just a few simple sentences. And she said, this man had no time to hear my whole story. He just wanted to know the meat of what my book was about. And that's really, you know, it's that door opener that, you know, he wanted to know, basically, give me some bullet points, what your business is about, or what your book is about. And if he wanted to know more, she would have been able to engage him in a conversation about it. But she lost that opportunity. So this is something that happens a lot of times. So catching people's attention, getting them to want to know more, is that key purpose of your 30-second commercial. And a lot of people in business don't understand that these days. So I want you to remember that. It's really to get their attention, to get them to want to know more, to inspire them to ask you, how do you do that? And then I'm going to tell you how to translate that into a conversation. So, but before we do that, I want to share with you, you know, crafting your attention-getting message is so important. And how I coach clients, when I'm working with clients, the biggest area where we start is, who's your ideal client? What is it that inspires you to work with them? Why are you working with people? I just recently did a call with a friend of mine. We were talking about a video. We did a video, and we were talking about, who's your ideal client? Where are you finding them? How are you connecting with them? And it amazes me. We were both talking about this. There's so many business owners in this day and age who really aren't laser focused on who their ideal clients are. Obviously, you know, for myself, it's somebody who really needs help with being able to communicate effectively. And I look at different people in different ways, and, you know, connecting on different levels, and being able to answer that all-encompassing, so what do you do? Question. And that's where that idea, you know, identifying your ideal client is so crucial to your business, because what happens is a lot of times people will have a really broad spectrum of who their ideal clients are, and, you know, they really aren't honing in on the people that they want to work with. And when I say who you want to work with, there's a clue in that, because we are most successful when we are happiest with who we're working with. I'm sure Jamie can attest to that. You know, she's got a lot of amazing people that she works with, but sometimes you have to go through a process of finding out. There are some people out there that, you know, may need your services, but may not be the right client for you. You know, so helping to really identify who those ideal clients are, you know, where are you going to find them? What do you want to be able to do for them? And how are you going to connect with them is really key. And that's a whole nother conversation that we can have down the road. I'd love to be able to share, just recently was sharing some ideas and questions. So if you guys have any questions on that, just feel free to email me. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And you know, if you have questions at the end, I can answer them as well. But so, you know, we go through, when I work with clients, we go through an interview process. We really kind of go through all of the questions that are, you know, who are your ideal clients? Where are you finding them? How do you serve them? In what capacity? What is a need that's really great to their business that you can solve for them? And that's the key to the foundational formula that I've kind of honed in on, that I work with my clients. And I'm going to share that with you. That the formula is what's their pain? So what's their problem or the issue that they're trying to solve in their life? In their business, obviously if you're a coach and you're helping people with life coaching, it could be the problem that they're solving in their life, or it could be in their business. So, an issue that they may be struggling with. For me, obviously it's that communication, the branding side of things, getting their message out there and understanding how to network. For somebody who is obviously a CPA or a bookkeeper, somebody who's really struggling to manage their books and just doesn't either A, have the time to do it, or B, is in a position where they don't understand their numbers, it's overwhelming them, and they really need to be focusing on their business instead. So there are a couple of different things that you could do. Somebody who is a financial advisor would be obviously looking for people that are, looking for ways to maybe be more diversified with their finances. But it's interesting because, you would think that financial advisors all do the same thing. And, I have some financial advisors that focus on women only. I have some financial advisors who focus on women who are retiring, who have, they're single at this point in time, whether they've been, their spouse is deceased, whether they're divorced, whether they've never been married. They specialize in single women. So you can get really laser focused on who, those clients are and what you want to do for them. So once you know who your clients are, remember ideal client, then being able to focus specifically on what you want to help them with. So for me, it's, people who are out there, they're looking to build their brand, to build their networking opportunities, to connect with more people, and to really have a specific message that is tailored to who they are and what they do. And you can do the same thing. I know Lucy's on here, and Lucy, for you with the cryo spa, there are so many people who are struggling with different ailments that you can connect with, those pains that they're having. Obviously, physical pain that you can help them overcome. And by identifying what those pains are and saying, talking about people who are struggling with pains from, whether it's Lyme's disease or, just arthritis and things like that, the relief that they'll receive from the cryo spa experience is amazing. So sharing those specific pain points, as we say, it's critical to helping to connect with people. And here's why. When you identify somebody's pain, you've now told them that they have a pain and you need to fix it. And the biggest thing is, that obviously the next step then is how do you solve their problem? When we've identified somebody's pain and they are, all of a sudden feeling that energy that you are, feeding into is like, oh my gosh, that's me, or that's my mom and dad, or I know somebody who's struggling with that. How can you help? They want you to explain to them what the solution is. So the simple thing is your solution. How do you solve their problem for them? So becoming a problem solver for your clients is huge. Identify yourself as the person that can fix their problems. Yeah, there may be a number of other people in your community that can help them, people in the area that can help them. But you know what? When you've connected on that heart level and really, really connected to their pain, they're going to want you to fix their problem. They're going to want to know more. And how do you do that? So what do you do that's so special about you that is different in the way that you handle people's problems? So I'll go back to Lucy, since Lucy's with us today and I'm familiar with her business. So one of the things that, in a situation with Lucy, she could be saying, I help people who are really struggling with severe chronic pain just to be able to gain some relief and gain some of their life back through the cryo spa experience. We use cold therapy to really take the inflammation out of the joints so people can function better. So when you're able to say, express how you solve their problem, people are going to go, oh my gosh, I want to know more. And then the next part of the formula is, number 4 is, what's your call to action? Invite them in, let's schedule a call today. Come visit my spa, come for a free session. Something that's really going to inspire them to come. And a very strong call to action is really important to your business. So that call to action is what you want to do. When you're telling people, it's so funny. I often tell people, I share with my clients, you need to tell people what to do. And you need to be strong about that. The American language, English language is just so amazing because there's words that are basically like command prompts. So when you're giving someone a call to action, be really careful not to use, I know we're all going against what mom told us to do, and I'm sorry, mom, but you want to not say please, because what happens is it negates the immediacy of your sentence. So for instance, if I said, and I'm going to give you an example, please call me back at, that's, there's been studies done that when people are cold calling and they leave a message and they say, please call me back at, their return rate is 30%. But when they leave a message that says, call me back at, and drop the word please, the return rate increases to 70%. And the reason for that is it's a command. Your prompting is kind of like that command prompt on your computer where you tell your computer to do something and it does it. Well, people are kind of programmed the same way. When you give them a command to do something, it's kind of like your kids. When you ask your kids to take out the trash and you say, please, would you take out the trash? Okay, mom, please, would you take out the trash? But you put your mom voice on, you say, take out the trash. They do it. They respond to that. It's human nature. It's kind of that built-in wiring that we have. There's certain words in the English language that push us to do things. So be careful with that word, please, when you are calling people to action. And the other one is I'm using the double negative. The other word that we want to be careful using is let's schedule coffee today. Just be careful with that. Let's schedule an appointment. Again, it's negating the strength of your words. So just be really careful and making a really strong call to action. And I tell people mine is schedule a call with me today. That's the strongest call to action that you can have. And then the final thing that I tell people is make sure that you include your name and your business. And I tell people to add that at the end. You may start your 30-second commercial, your 30-second, a lot of people call it commercial, your pitch, your elevator speech. You want to make sure that you include your name and your company at the end. And the reason being is once you've got their attention, you need to tell them again who you are, because chances are they may not have been listening to you in the beginning. And this is referencing where you have to do like a 30-second commercial in a network setting. Obviously, you're not going to, it's going to be a little bit different if you're just meeting someone over cocktails. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit too, how you can kind of change that up. But when you're primarily in a network setting, you might start out, and a lot of times and I'll give you mine, I'm Laura Templeton with 30-Second Success. I help people develop their 30-second commercials that drives business to their door and helps people to, I just blew it. I totally just blew my 30-second commercial. So let me go again. Laura Templeton with 30-Second Success, helping people make better connections with their words in 30 seconds or less for video as well as for networking. If you're struggling to make a connection with your words in 30 seconds with 30 seconds or less, and you're ready to make better connections, I'm Laura Templeton. Call me at 30-Second Success. Now, totally, Jamie, I am really having a day here because I say this all the time and I'm tongue-tied.
That's okay. It's hard to manage slides, video, and teaching at the same time. So we'll give you a break, girl.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I know for those of you who know me, I'm usually pretty good at coming right off the top of my head with that one. But so having your name and your company at the very end, make sure and here's the formula again. It's what's the pain? How do you solve their problems? Your call to action and your name and your company. Now, if you're in a situation where you're networking and you're just meet and greet type of networking, obviously you're not going to go into your 30-second pitch where you would normally in like a networking environment. So what I normally tell people is just shorten it and tell them, go right to your solution. Here's your solution. What do you do? And say, hey, I'd love to schedule, hey, I help people with their 30-second commercial, whether they're using it for networking or for video work. And I would love to schedule some time to be able to discuss that with you further because I'd really like to know what you do as well. Let's schedule a time for coffee. What works best for you? We can get together next Tuesday or Wednesday. And that's a great way to take it offline and to segue, just, to be able to connect, because you really want to be able to get to know them on a personal level. So, and this is one of the things that I always tell people, make sure that you're coming from your heart, that being able to be authentic with your message is really powerful. That authenticity comes across. People know who you are. They sense when people are being phony, or when you've rehearsed your 30-second commercial over and over again to the point that it's just flat. You need some excitement. You need to be authentic. You need to be able to share with people that you're passionate about what you do, and they need to be able to feel that. So make sure that your message is really authentic. Once you have that 30-second commercial, it's amazing to feel the energy shift in your being as you step into it. I have a lovely woman that I worked with in the very beginning of my business, and her whole business has changed. She's an amazing woman. She stands in front of people on a regular basis, speaking about different products that she sells and services that she has. But for her to be able to stand in front of a group was very, very difficult for her. She really struggled with it. And to the point that a number of people were trying to help her and coach her along. We worked together, and I helped her with a 30-second commercial. And the very next time that she had an opportunity to do her commercial, she literally stood up, stomped her foot, introduced herself, and she's like, "This is who I am." And you could literally feel people applauded when she was done. It was amazing. It was amazing to see the transformation. And it was just that she had a message that truly spoke about who she is. And she loves it, and she does a great job with it now. And she just is on fire, just being able to overcome something that she was really struggling with. And a lot of people really do struggle with being able to go into a networking environment and do their 30-second commercial. And I need to encourage you, if you're not networking for your business, and that's one of the areas where your ideal clients are networking, please don't be afraid. It's, doing your 30-second commercials is amazing. There was a gal that used to come to another networking group that I belonged to, and she would literally get up and go to the bathroom when it was time to do 30-second commercials and not come back until we were done. She missed almost a whole entire year of doing her 30-second commercials because she was that petrified of speaking in public. And believe me, I totally get it. It is the number one fear, of even above death. And it really is the fear of public speaking. People really struggle with it, and some people are really gifted with it, and other people just really struggle with it because they're afraid to be criticized, and afraid. There's a lot of fear to it. But trust me when I tell you, the people in the audience are cheering for you. They want to know you. They want to feel who you are. They're there to support you. That's what networking really truly is. And those networking opportunities are amazing. They just really open up a lot of doors for you. So there's one particular gal that I just mentioned that used to go to the bathroom and come back. I finally connected with her, and we started working together. And it really truly was a fear of public speaking. But once we started talking about that authentic message and really connecting with who she is and really having a practiced message, and she would literally call me and practice with me. Now she's getting more and more comfortable, and every time she shows up, it's really exciting to hear the difference when she does her presentation. We made her some short little cue cards that would help keep her on track, and she's doing great. She's really doing great. She's, after a year of avoiding that part of the meetings, and people, it was funny because somebody actually walked up to her and says, "Oh, it's so nice to have you here." And she looked at me, she goes, "They don't know I've been coming here for a year." And I said, "Because you never introduced yourself." And you would, so she didn't realize how much that had affected the fact that people didn't even realize it. There were some people in the room that didn't even realize she had been coming already for a year and were welcoming her as if she were a new person. So it's, that there is an advantage to having that message and really connecting with it. All right. So what do you do when you have their attention? And that is, so important to connecting and really building those relationships. And it's that relationship that makes the difference. Building those relationships within the networking groups, within the arenas that you're working with, other business partners that you can connect with. We call those power partners. And building those relationships. So once you've introduced yourself and somebody says to you, so how do you do that? What do you do? How do you work with clients? I'd like to know more about your spa. Invite them to coffee, invite them to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation and just say, I would love to learn more about your business, and I'd really love to answer all your questions. This may not be the proper arena for us to do it here. Why don't we schedule a time for coffee? Or we can actually, if it's somebody who might be a little bit further away, long distance, schedule a Zoom call, a telephone conference call. You can do that very easily. But taking it offline and starting to build those relationships is so important. The relationships are the power behind your networking, because you start to get to know one another, you start to trust one another, and that's where the magic happens. Trusting other people within your network and helping them to develop and connect is amazing. Because once you start really being able to understand who they are and what they do, then you can start sharing opportunities with them when you're out and about and you start meeting other people. And that's one of the key things that I share with people is it's not about you, it's got to be about them. So once you kind of have your authentic message and you're, really comfortable with who you are and what you do, then you can start building those relationships and helping other people make those connections. It may, you may meet people along the way that may not need your services, but you may know people that need theirs, and they may know people that need yours. So it's not always about the person that you're in front of. So getting to know people and helping them to understand how they can even refer you is really important. And I mentioned power partners. Power partners are awesome. There are people that are have similar clientele that you do. So you're able to refer clients back and forth to one another. For me, with being able to coach people on their 30-second commercial, I have a lot of business coaches who refer clients to me because they know that's a need that they have, but that's not a specific area that they feel strong about. And they also know that I will write people's commercials for them. So they'll send their clients to me, and vice versa. If somebody is one of my clients and I realize that their business really needs some coaching on a deeper level with, to help them grow and move beyond, I'll refer them to some of the business coaches that I know. So there's a great opportunity for partnerships. Working with web designers is another, person that I work with, because I do a lot of the branding and the messaging, and the web designers, will share the content out there. So, it's really interesting how things have happened over the years. And even just with Jamie, I'm telling people all the time, if you want a great support system, Network Now is amazing, because just those 15-minute phone calls every month have changed my life. I'll, pay Jamie forever for that. So, when people are looking for help, you start to learn who they are, what they do, and you start connect them within your network, and it just grows and thrives, and it really helps your business. It serves you well. So just a quick recap, the importance of your 30-second commercial. Remember, it's about getting their attention, really getting them to want to know more. And then crafting an attention-getting message. The 4 key points are what's their pain? How do you solve their problem? Your call to action and who you are, and then what to do once you have their attention. So building those relationships, really making a point to connect with people and start building those relationships for referrals as well as business. So those are that's the recap for today, and I'm really happy to be here sharing this with you. So if anybody has any questions, we'll open that up now. Amy, do you want to unmute, or just have them unmute themselves?
Why don't you stop sharing your screen so we can see everyone temporarily? Okay. And then we can put it back at the end for your contact info. Hey, Karen's here. Wow. Looks like Lucy unmuted herself. Did you have a question, Lucy? No.
No questions. Sorry, my screen is I'm using my windows and my screen keeps getting darker.
I'm going to unmute people randomly. Looks like Beverly is a queen with the chandelier on her head. It's like a crown. Oh my God.
Hey, Laura.
Yes. Hi, Michael.
How is a 30-second commercial different from an elevator pitch, or are they similar? Or How do they differ?
They're actually one and the same.
Okay.
A lot of people use different terminology for it, so it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
Well, I guess the term pitch came from when you're trying to pitch to for an investor, right?
Oh, I see.
Shark Tank or something like that.
Yeah. So MSNBC has that, pitch us. We have 60, 90, 120 seconds to tell us why we should give you all our money. So I guess that's a pitch, but yeah, it is kind of a word that gets switched around. Pitch, commercial. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Michelle, did you want to say something? Do you know how to unmute yourselves? You just go to the bottom on the left and hit unmute. So actually, I have a question for you, Laura.
Okay.
Have you ever taught anybody to do their pitch with props?
I have. That's a really great question. I have. And you know what? If you have a product, that's the key. That's really important to make sure that you're showing people what your product is. You know what? It's really helpful, and it's a great visual, even for financial advisors. I have a financial advisor who puts everything into a beautiful binder for her clients. I'm like, why are you not using that? Show them what they get when they work with you. So yeah, that's definitely something really helpful.
I thought you were going to say she comes with a big stack of cash and throws it into the air.
Well, actually, another client that I have came one time with a stack of dollar bills and started just dropping them on the table. And she said, and the whole thing was, "Are you leaving money on the table?"
That's excellent. Very memorable.
Yeah, very memorable.
Yeah. Years ago, I taught one person how to do their pitch, and she was an adventure leader. Mm-hmm. So I had her bring a kayak oar into the event. And she was slammed down her kayak oar and said, "Who's ready for an adventure?"
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Visuals are huge.
But not too many, because I once gave a speech with all kinds of props. I dropped them all over the floor. So it was memorable, but not in a good way.
Hey, this is Marissa. I unmuted myself for just a quick moment to ask my question, and then Jamie, please mute me again because it's a loud coffee house I'm in right now. My question is, Laura, how do you hone down your 30-second commercial if you are multifaceted in your business? For example, I'm a writer. I do my own creative writing. I also work with small businesses to do copywriting and with individuals to do resumes. So those are very divergent. Well, maybe that's a common theme of writing, but there are different target audiences, different pain points. And I know that, it would make sense to tailor it to your audience if you know who your audience is. But if you're just explaining yourself to a large group in general, do you have any, insight into how to hone it down? Does that question make sense?
It does, and yours, and it's funny because I get that question a lot because there's people who have very diverse businesses where they have multiple businesses that are really different, and they struggle with being able to talk about them, multiple businesses in one commercial. But there is a way to do that. Marissa, for you with copywriting, obviously writing is an issue for a lot of people. They don't like writing their own content. They don't like writing their own blogs. They don't like, it's a struggle for most people. So for you, just really talk about the pain of, the writing process that a lot of people really struggle with it. And then just say, hey, the good news is I love to write. I write content. I write blogs. I am a copywriter. These are all the services that I have within my business. For you, it's okay to name those in your solution, but really be clear about identifying that the pain that people have is that they don't want to write for themselves, or B, don't have the time to write for themselves. And you can be the problem solver for them. I hope that answers your question. For other people, and I don't know if we have anybody here, but we may have somebody listening in later, what I've run into, I had one woman who sold Nerium and she also sold energy. So she started cutting, one or the other out of her commercial. And what we did is we just really talked about how she could marry the two very simply and say, hey, in my portfolio of businesses that I represent an amazing product line that helps people with anti-aging, but I also help people save money on their electric bills, on their commercial electric bills. I know that sounds crazy, but you know what? It's a great way for me to help people. And just coming from that heart of being able to serve her clients, she was able to really connect it. And, we worked on the pain, but don't be afraid to talk about both of them. The one thing I will tell you is, if you have a business, if you have two different businesses and you talk about one and then you talk about the other, be careful not to say, and I also. Remember, we were talking about the English language and how certain words trigger certain responses. When you say the word also, it literally negates anything you said before it. So if you've given a great commercial for, I'll use the Nerium and the energy as well, to say, I have this great product. It's an anti-aging product. It helps people overcome, those wrinkle lines that we all struggle with. And I also, it literally wipes out what you just said. And I also, help people with their commercial energy and being able to save them on that. So the key there is to say, and in my portfolio, I have, actually now I'm tripping myself up. Use the word and, but do not use the word also. So, and I offer people a way to save money on their commercial energy. Does that make sense? And the reason for that is the word also just literally negates anything you said before that. So if you have multiple businesses, be careful using that word also. Any more questions?
They're all thinking.
I actually, can you hear me?
Hi, Susie.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello from Sedona. I actually don't have a question, but I just wanted to give a word of encouragement to people that, I've been in business for 12 years and it's taken me probably 10 or 11 of those to actually land with my 30-second commercial. And it's because I had to go through my own growth process. And so what I did kept changing. And I think that's okay. So if anyone out there is struggling with coming up with it, just keep going with it until you get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really great point. Thank you for sharing that, Susie. A lot of people really do struggle because, especially in the beginnings of a new business, a lot of people are struggling to really identify and hone in exactly what it is that they want to do and who they want to serve. And that's that, again, going back to that ideal client. Who do you want to work with? Really honing that in. And I think a lot of times it changes as we grow, as our businesses grow. So we need to continuously be willing to look at that and just and massage it. So being able to hone in on those things, and it can transform. Your 30-second commercial can transform over time. Another thing with working with large groups, once you have a really good solid 30-second commercial, it really builds that confidence. You get a little more comfortable. You're walking into a room and now you're able to focus on what other people are saying rather than focusing on what you're going to say when it's your turn. So what I recommend when it's a really great opportunity is to really start learning how to play off other people in the room. And what I mean by that, there may be other people that are talking. I have a gentleman who's in one of my groups and he talks about video all the time. And if he's talking about something that he's got coming up, and I'll just throw in there, hey, look, Rick's working on a video program. If you need a great commercial to go along with that, I can help you. Don't be afraid to bounce off other people in the room because, again, identifying your power partners really helps you to just kind of play off what they're saying and bring it into your own commercial. Somebody else was mentioning about SEO, and I was able to say, one of the things that we talk about in your 30-second commercial, you can use your 30-second commercial in your content on your website, and it'll help with your SEO, and you can use that 30-second commercial once you put it into a video, add it to your website. Now it's going to drive your SEO up even more, and having those keywords as part of that is really crucial.
I think people just need to really recognize it's not just about introducing yourself, but if you're really clear by having a good, powerful 30-second commercial, then people can really relay the story of who your perfect referral is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're also, remember, when you have a really clear, concise 30-second commercial, people can start referring you when they understand. You're basically giving them a message they can share with other people, especially when it's something simple and easy to remember. Hey, I know Laura Templeton helps people with their 30-second commercials. I know Jamie helps people with networking. I know Karen helps people with children who have issues with, autism, and she does it through music and dance. Rebecca is an amazing coach that helps people with their physical well-being. So, hi, Rebecca. How are you? So just really.
I don't want you to refer me as somebody to help with networking.
Well, I'm sorry. I keep saying that. You are. You are to me, you're like that networking business guru that I absolutely love, and I share that with people. It's a different type of networking that you do with your organization. You bring people. You're a connector. Right.
Well, that's the problem. That word networking is misunderstood.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I don't want to use it.
Well, it's really for me, it's about connecting and building relationships. Mm-hmm. And that's what I see that you do. You help people to really make those, those really good integral connections that make a difference in their business.
Right.
So you and I understand the word networking.
Yes.
So
Karen on the beautiful suede couch. You have anything to add? Ta-da!
I love that couch.
I'm going to unmute her for a sec. Where is she? There she is.
Oh,
hello from AHA Studio.
Hello.
We just want to hear your beautiful voice, Karen.
Breathe in and breathe out.
Breathing is a good thing. Our talking is always a fun way to get through your commercial, but thank you.
So I guess one of the things that I'm sitting here thinking about is, I've been sort of like Susie. I've been doing this. I actually opened in 2007, so I've been doing this for 10 years in private practice, and it's interesting because I'm at that point of I'm ready to put this together, create my bullet points, and start playing with them, getting out there, talking to people. And I've got lots of puzzle pieces, but just like when I heard you talking about my practice, people stumble, and I fall into the same issue that Marissa does, where I not only serve children, which of course the target market then is women, but also single dads, and so my target market is sort of wide. And I want to not just conceptually understand this, but I want to be and now I'm ready to put it down into bullet points and start playing with them. And so when are you doing that workshop?
I think that's one we'll have to create. I actually, I do offer online workshops and stuff. If you go on my website, I have an online workshop coming up in, I think it's the second Monday in February. So,
okay. Are there any other questions? If not, we can just go to the how to contact Laura and find out more. Michelle? Okay.
We're not hearing her.
I know, I'm working on that. Michelle, you should be unmuted, Michelle.
Yeah.
No, you have no volume, girl. No. Rebecca's pointing. Let's see what Rebecca has to say. What's up, Rebecca?
I think that she needs to move her mouse so those things come up.
Well, I unmuted her. It's still not working.
Michelle, put your mouse on the grid.
No, I don't think that's the problem.
Well, because you can't, like if my mouse isn't on it, I don't see that there's even a microphone or anything on the bottom.
I know, but I unmuted her, Rebecca.
Okay.
She just doesn't have her mic.
Maybe
isn't
the
working.
speaker's not on.
Anyone else? All right. So why don't you share your screen and tell us how we can find you, girl?
Okay. Let's figure out which one it is again. There we go.
Just scroll down. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
All right. So I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook, Pinterest, not real busy on that. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are my main ones. But if you are looking for any tips, or if you'd like to find out more about my business, I'm at 30secondsuccess.com, or you can email me at info@30secondsuccess.com. I'm happy to offer anybody wants some 5 things to do before networking tip sheet. Please email me. Be happy to share that with you. And I can also add you to my email list if you'd like when I have upcoming events or any workshops.
That's great. Thank you so much.
And then here's some of the other things that I help people with, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, if anything pops up after today.
So tell me about your workbook. Does that go with your digital program?
My workbook is going with my digital my digital program. It also goes with all my workshops. So if somebody signs up for an online workshop or an in-person workshop, they get my actually my physical hard copy of my workbook that we launched at Jamie's event this past October. It's a step-by-step workbook that walks you through how to do your 30-second commercial.
Okay, so for in-person, is that in the Philadelphia area in February?
Yes.
What date? The second Monday, you said?
It's actually that's an online one
okay.
And then at the 21st of February, I have a workshop in Doylestown coming up. So if you're interested in that,
how much is the online and how much is the in-person?
They're $99. It's normally $199, so it'd be $99 either one.
And you get the workbook free.
Get the workbook free. It's about an hour and a half session, and we actually come away with a 30-second commercial that you've had an opportunity to share with the group and get some feedback on. So it's really cool when you do a group session, whether it's online or in person. And it's amazing because people can give you feedback and just help you really tweak it and hone in on it, and you can really identify where we're going with it. So Karen, one thing I would recommend for you, just really sit down and list out all the different clients that you serve. And then we can kind of tailor that down for you a little bit too. I think that would be good for you to do, is to really start with your ideal clients. And that's where we start with everybody in any workshop that I do, that's where we start.
Okay. I just opened up the chat, and Michelle was trying to ask verbally, but has asked in the chat, what if your MLM business is not pain focused, or if it doesn't have a problem? And Mike has answered and said, everyone has a pain point somewhere, something that you were solving, or you create the pain point that they didn't know they had. Without that, you don't have a product. The hard work involved is to discover the pain point or to create it. So sometimes the pain point is like the reverse, where, for instance, like I'm having my college roommate is my interior designer. She's coming over in about half an hour. And the pain point is that, I guess you could say it's mortification, embarrassment about this couch in my family room. But it could also, you could switch it around to the positive emotion when I have some really nice furniture and it looks amazing. It makes me feel proud of my house. So you can look at it from 2 sides, right?
Right.
Mortification or pride. How's that for an analogy from a layman?
Yeah. Michelle's question is a great question. A lot of people really struggle with that, just really identifying what that pain is. And Mike, I love your answer. So thanks for helping with that.
Mike's the man. Mike, he's muted, I guess, but I'm guessing, is that his wife there? I don't know. Who's that wonderful woman next to you?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, this is my friend Melissa.
Oh, hello.
Nice to meet you all.
How are you?
Hi.
Why don't you tell us who you are, what you do?
Happy to join.
Here's your 30-second pitch. Here we go. Hey, what'd you learn?
Yes, there we go.
Do it.
I have a business called The Well Kept Home, and I do interior design, organizing. The bulk of my business is real estate staging. So I help people to capitalize on their biggest investment.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah, I can imagine everybody needs you. It's like, right now you see my backdrop. Don't I look organized? But if I turn my computer like 6 inches this way, you'll be running over here, girl.
We all have that mess somewhere, right? Just a matter of pointing the computer in the right direction.
Yeah, right. Yeah, very cool. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. That's awesome. All right, there's some more chat here. Let's see. Karen says, you your pain point is helping families help their children fall in love with the power of words and reading. I love that. Michelle says, I sell children's books. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the pain point is my kids aren't reading.
Yeah.
How do I get my kids to read?
Or giving your children good quality books to read that really are educational and, just bring more value to them.
Love of learning.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. How to get my daughter off her phone.
There's the pain point.
That's a pain point, all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is awesome. So next month, let's see, who do we have? Heidi's teaching our masterclass next month on February 24th. Heidi Garris of Tap Into Abundance. She'll be talking about how to present yourself and promote yourself without feeling like a fraud. Didn't know you had that pain point, did you? Should be interesting. Heidi was one of our retreat leaders. We were just down in Florida last week for my first annual Business Beach retreat, which was over the top amazing. So successful. Rebecca is also on this call here, and she was one of our leaders as well. She helped us with movement and mindset. And Sue Geyer was the other leader. And 9 out of 10 of the women who were there have already paid for next year. That's how successful it was. They cannot wait to go back. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So you got to get on a plane, people. January. I'm also going to have a retreat in September, by the way. While I was down in Orlando on my 11-day whirlwind Florida tour, I did the ropes course with my daughter, and the 4th course was literally 5 stories high, and I was like hanging on for dear life on these wires and these moving logs. It was incredible. It was such a physical challenge that I had to focus so hard for 3 hours, and my daughter kept saying, "You got this, Mom, you got this." And after, it was so exhilarating when I came down that zip line at the end, I got off there and I said, I'm having an adventure retreat. I need to share this feeling with everyone because you feel like you can do anything after that. So it's already, awesome. I found a place in Middletown, New York. We're going to do, Jen Groover is going to be our keynote because she has a book coming out right at that time about achieving your potential and overcoming fear. So everyone that signs up gets a free copy of her book. We're going to be climbing up in the trees, doing the ropes course. It's going to be amazing. So that's what's happening on my end of things. Yeah. All right. What do you say, Laura?
Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm excited to, I'm like, sign me up. Sign me up. I want to do the adventure course, definitely. So thank you so much for everybody being here. Would love, anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, it's info@30secondsuccess.com. I'd be happy to help you.
It's awesome. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Jamie.